Hi, I'm Dr. Sarah Warren. I'm a clinical psychologist, and I own two practices. One is Oasis Center for Wellbeing, where we think in terms of wellness broadly defined, and ARC Professional Group, which is a team-based concierge practice where we work with people who have significant mental health challenges and also sometimes challenges with substance use. As we go into the holiday season, we wanted to look at what we can learn from the very popular TV show, Ted Lasso, about alcohol and the holidays. So in season 2, we see Ted Lasso get very drunk while he is away from his family, thousands of miles away. He's getting a divorce. He's feeling very I think lonely and probably down, although he doesn't necessarily talk about that at this point. So if you're alone on a holiday, one of the things you can do to offset that sense of loneliness is that you can be of service, and that's something that Ted Lasso does. In the course of that episode, he is drawn into a service project by his boss, and I think that it ends up being good for both of them. And one of the things about being of service is that it can be good to you. For you, it feels like you have a sense of purpose, you're making a contribution, so you benefit, but also, the recipients of the service that you're providing also benefit. So it's really kind of a twofer. We work a lot with people in divorce, and one of the biggest challenges can be being away from your kids during the holiday season. And that can be especially difficult in the beginning. So one of the things that you can do is you tend to know in advance that you're not going to be with your kids. So you can plan to be with friends. Again, you could do a service project. You might take a trip if that's logistically or financially possible. You can also do FaceTime and Zoom, which is not the same as being with your kids, but at least there's a connection there, and we have technology that allows that. You can accept an invitation, or you can invite someone else to be with you, and it could even be somebody that you don't know that well. Sometimes people do this with coworkers. In the Ted Lasso episode, Ted Lasso ends up being with his boss, who he doesn't know particularly well, but it still ends up being, I think, good for both of them that they are together. You can also decide if you're going to drink, and if you're going to drink, how much you're going to drink. I am a big proponent of making a plan in advance, particularly if you have any concerns about it. So one thing you can do is pace yourself, no more than 1 drink an hour. The liver can't process more than 1 drink an hour. Eating is also helpful, slows down the absorption of the alcohol. And then I also am a big proponent of planning in advance what your upper limit is going to be. It doesn't necessarily have to be a low upper limit, but it's a cap, and it's a good idea to stick with it. And then separate from anything to do with drinking, especially if you think that the holidays might be stressful for you. Let's say you're going to be with family, and maybe gatherings have been stressful in the past, or maybe they've become more stressful because you're not used to being with each other because the pandemic kept us apart for a while. Maybe there are political differences, maybe there are differences about COVID. Any number of things could make being with family stressful. So think about, what is it that you know that works for you? Would it be helpful to plan to take breaks? Would it be a good idea to go for a walk around the block by yourself? Some people use a cigarette break as a way of getting outside and getting away from people. You might line up friends that you can text with, or maybe even chat with on the phone if you are taking that walk around the block. Working on breathing exercises, any number of things can be helpful to make what might be otherwise a pretty stressful time a more enjoyable time.